get into the nitty-gritty of everything. So here's a quick question. If you would, type in, can you hear me right now? And am I clear? So go ahead and type in and tell me if you can hear me and if I'm coming across well. Sound great. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Okay, great. I appreciate you taking some time out today. My name is Paul Potratz, and guess what? I'm with Potratz. And today we're going to talk about digital marketing, but we're also going to talk about social media. So you can hear me. Next question is, can you see my screen? Does it come across okay? So, and no, Hank, I can't hear you. All right, good. So excellent. So I want you guys to definitely have some questions, and just so we can have it where it's this flows well, everyone's muted but me. And that's because, you know, in the back, you guys are going to be working deals. You got the phone ringing. You got people coming and asking you questions, and it would just get crazy and distracting for everybody. So that's why you're muted. But still, type in, ask questions. I want to hear your questions because this is for you. So again, you're free to ask questions. I'm going to answer those questions. So real quick, about us. Well, our company is called Potratz, and we work with a lot of deals, and it's snowing right now too, by the way, just a side note. That was kind of like one of those things there with the squirrel by my window. But anyway, so we work with dealers all across Canada. I mean, we've got several dealers that we do digital marketing for. We build websites for them. We do consulting. I mean, we do everything for them. We are a full-service solution. And what I mean by that is we do graphic design, TV production, radio production, build websites, email marketing, paid search, retargeting, inbound marketing, and the list goes on. So we provide everything. But what separates us from other companies that provide, let's say, digital marketing is we truly are consultants. While we're providing digital marketing for you and retargeting and video pre-roll and the list goes on, that's just, you know, there's companies that are just vendors because we can drive traffic to your website all day long. And I mean, think about the companies you're working with right now that's all they do is they're focused on, hey, we're going to drive some traffic to your website. And again, my firm can drive traffic to your website, I mean, crazy amounts of traffic to the website. But now you start getting more leads, and not only are you going to get more leads, when you get more traffic to your website, you're going to get more people on the lot. And there's some things that I want you to look at. And by the way, write this down right now. So write this down. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to find out what is your closing ratio on the lot. I'm not talking about internet leads and all that. I'm talking about old school guys. I'm talking about when somebody walks onto the lot and they say, hey, I'm interested in that car, what is your closing ratio on that? How many of those visitors on your lot actually, you know, come to the point of purchasing a vehicle? Most dealers are 32%. That's what most dealers are. But when you start a digital marketing strategy, and some of the things that I'm going to show you and where you guys are going to ask questions, you will see that closing ratio start to come up. Because digital marketing is essentially today's newspaper. I mean, I'm sure some of you are still doing newspaper, and people go to the newspaper, they look in the classifieds, they look at the vehicles, and they go, yeah, I'm interested in that. They drive to the dealership, and the way you used to measure it was, hey, they had a newspaper rolled up laying on the seat beside it. Or maybe you got really creative and you started clicking through the radio stations to see what radio stations they listened to so you knew how to place a buy. But with digital, you're driving more traffic to your virtual showroom. So what I asked you to write down is I want you to find out what your closing ratio is. It's important that you know that. And some of you guys know what it is off the top of your head. But when you start a good digital strategy, you will see that closing ratio go up. That's one of the things that I definitely want you to measure. So let's get into the next slide. And I know you guys can see the slides on the side, but if I click into preview mode, it just pops out. So let's go out of that. All right, so 5 steps of a strategic roadmap. This is for you guys. And I mean, do a screen grab right now. Just go ahead and screen grab, whatever you want to do. Get your cell phone out, take a picture, whatever you want to do. So the 5 steps of your strategic roadmap, the things that you need to do. Number 1, who are you? What do you stand for? You know, why should I buy from you? Why should I buy from you versus another Toyota dealer in the market? Why should I buy from you versus a Honda dealer? Why should I buy from you versus a Nissan dealer? So you've got to determine who are you as a dealer? Who's your identity? What do you stand for? What is your unique selling proposition? Why buy from you? That's what you've got to develop. This is a 5-step process that I want you to develop, and when you do this, your success will take off. Because think about it. I mean, think about how many companies are in your market, and let's just talk about, let's say, I mean, think of anything. How many companies sell electronics? Like, let's say cell phones. How many different vendors in your market are selling cell phones? And I mean, they're all selling iPhones or Droids or Blackberries or Samsung. They're all selling the same product. But there's one, if you think about it, chances are there's one in your market that stands out. And think about, who are they? Think about that too. Tires. I mean, if you sell Michelin, BF Goodrich, Goodyear, whatever the tires, how many dealers in your market, and I don't mean automotive dealers, but how many tire dealers are in your market, and which ones stand out? Are you in a market where Canadian Tire stands out more so than anybody else? Why is that? Is it because their logo is consistent? Their strategy is consistent. Their branding is consistent. It's not a seesaw or a slingshot approach. So I want you to develop, who are you as an individual. If you're doing TV advertising, then you need to have the same music bed all the time. You need to have the same intro and the same outro. Because when that commercial starts, it has to be to the point, if they turn the audio off and they see it and your logo doesn't show, they need to know exactly who is that dealer. And let's say that they have the audio playing, but they can't see it. And without naming your dealership name, will they know who it is based on the music or the slogans or the identity you're using? Because who are you has nothing to do with, hey, we're nice, we're fun to do business with. People don't care about that, guys. Let's be honest. They don't, and I'm going to be honest with you here. And I mean, this is a great thing to strive for, and it's definitely something you need to strive for. They don't, are you ready? They don't care about your President's Award. You need it, though, and you want to do it because that's an add-on, but that's not the intro. In other words, that's not your 2-second or 3-second intro to get them interested in your dealership. Because people are selfish, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I really don't. But think about your own habits. Why do you choose to purchase from Company A versus Company B? Is it because what they do for you? And that's what you've got to do. So develop who you are. Develop who you are by a brand standard, develop by who you are by the colors, the logos, the fonts, the music, and develop your identity. Get that unique identity. So there you go. So I kind of beat that dead horse for a while, but that's critically important, I'm telling you. And then the next thing is, how do customers find you? And that's really what we're talking about here, is how do the customers find you? In other words, how are they going to find you? Is it social media? Is it Google? Is it Yahoo? Is it Bing? How are they going to find you? And that's where digital marketing comes in, because it multiplies that number 10 or 20 times, allowing them to find you. Because there's something magical about digital. And I'm going to kind of explain what I really mean by that. And what I mean is there's a thing called big data. In big data, it allows you to target people based on their behavior of whatever they're doing online. Again, everything you're doing online is being tracked. Everything. In other words, we can target individuals that have an interest in Honda, that have an interest in Nissan. We can target individuals that are going to get a new set of tires put on their car at Canadian Tire, because they're showing that digital body language. In fact, in that mobile device, I mean, think about it. How many people on this call have a smartphone? I'd say just pretty much everybody. Well, your smartphone has what's called an identifier for advertising. What it is it's 40 digits characters, so it's letters and numbers made up. It's within your phone. That information, that 40 digit, the identifier for advertising, is specific to your mobile device. Think about it. What do you do on your mobile phone? Well, when you roll out of bed, first thing you do is that you grab your phone and you see what's going on, whether you're looking at the news, whether you're looking at your email, seeing who called you, see who texted you or whatever. So that's showing a behavior right there on that mobile device that we know that what time are people interacting on their phone. Think about it. What apps have you downloaded on your phone? So now that you're showing a digital body language of your interest in your hobbies. So that's where it all starts to play in. I mean, and mobile phone's just one part of it. But that mobile phone is also tied into, where do you have your mobile phone at? Let's say you have it at Rogers. And if you have it at Rogers, guess what? You pay your bill, and you either pay your bill through online payment or through a credit card. Well, that credit card or online payment is tied to your bank account, which is tied to your personal information, which is tied to your credit score. So this is what big data allows to happen. That's how specific you can target individuals. So the beauty of what I'm saying is, how do customers find you? That's the beauty of digital, and I'm going to show you some interesting ways of how they can find you. So number three. Number three is, what happens when they get there? Because a lot of times what happens with most marketers, most dealers, is we focus solely on number two. In other words, I need more customers. I need more customers. You haven't separated yourself from anybody else. Now you're driving for more customers. In other words, you're driving more traffic to your website, but you haven't done number three. And number three is, what do you do when they get there? And what I'm really saying is, when they drive to your website, when they click over to your website, have you tested your own forms on your website? Have you called all the phone numbers on your website? Does your website really flow the way it should? And now I want you to write this down, because here's a homework exercise for you. What I want you to do after this call is, I want you to pull up your mobile website. And on your mobile website, I want you to try to find a 2015 white Toyota Camry and see how easy it is. Tell me how easy it is to find that white Toyota Camry, a 2015 that is, and after you find that white Toyota Camry, I want you to try to calculate a payment and see how much it would cost you per month. And if you can't do that, then your website needs a revamp. It needs some help, because you're losing traffic. So that's what I mean. What do you do when they get there? And are you looking at A/B strategies? In other words, are you looking at conversion? Are you looking at heat mapping? And you're running a dealership. You don't have time. So the vendors that you're working with, are they doing that for you? Are they talking about that at least quarterly, of how they're really working on your website to get more conversion onto your website? In fact, here's a quick story. I was on a call this morning with our performance managers, and we were talking. It was two Toyota dealerships, and we pulled up their website. And I'm not going to say what kind of website it was, Trader, but anyway, on this website platform, what we found out, we showed them that there was a one part of their website where it was just in a short amount of time that 61% of the people were abandoning the form. Again, 61% of the traffic, they clicked on a form to submit their information, but that form was so long and asked for so much information, over half, 61% of them left that form. So think about this dealership. If they're losing 61% of that traffic, let's say that something was done to that website, not mentioning any names, Trader, that if it was really worked and we brought it down to only a 30% abandonment rate, how would that affect their numbers? How many more cars would they sell, and how much more profitable would they be? But this dealer was focused on, because we had a long talk with them, they were focused on, I need more customers, I need more customers, I got to drive more traffic. Well, that's like throwing good money after bad. So anyway, that's one of the things that we do, is when we start working with a dealership, we go through and we revamp the website. Even if it's a Trader website or anybody else's website, we revamp it to get more leads out of it. Or they can come on our website platform. It's whatever works for them. So number 4, what do you do when they connect? And what I mean by that, now you've got the lead. Do you have the word tracks? Do you have the processes? Do you know how to handle those leads? Or do you think you know how to handle those leads, but you would just like somebody to say, yeah, that's a good practice, but why don't you try this? Well, that's what we do. And I mean, and if you're not signed up for our Think Tank Tuesday, I definitely want you to visit our website and sign up for Think Tank Tuesday and Hard Facts. In fact, we'll just sign you guys up. I hope that's okay, because we've got your email addresses. We'll sign you up, and I want you to make sure we're not going in your spam on Tuesdays and Fridays, because we do these free videos and we help you with that. So what do you do when they connect? That's what we've got to help you. That's what we help you guys with too. Not only do we drive the traffic and optimize your website, but we show you how to do the word tracks. And then number 5, how do you get them to come back? I mean, you think about it. How many times, if think about your own mindset too, it's like, I need more traffic, I need more traffic, I need more traffic, I need more traffic. So in other words, and somebody comes in, they buy the car, they go out the door, and then it's like, okay, that's done. Now I need another one. Why not work those relationships? Get them back for service. Get them back for accessories. Get them back for parts. Let them know about Toyota Care. Let them know about all the additional things that you offer. And work those leads. Work them for referrals and references. That's important, and you've definitely got to do that. That's called inbound marketing. We won't have an opportunity to talk about that today. All right, let me go into the services. Services I'm going to cover today is going to be search engine marketing, also known as pay-per-click. We're going to talk about site-based retargeting. Retargeting is a gold mine, let me tell you. And we're going to talk about interest targeting, in-market targeting, and then custom websites. And in this, there's also social media, but Brian left that out, so we'll have to just slap him a little later on, but we're going to talk about social media. Let me tell you what retargeting is real quick before I move on, because I want you to definitely understand this, and I'm going to tell you again, though. Retargeting is, and you've all been exposed to it, that's where you visit a website, you pick up a piece of code, you leave that website, and those ads follow you everywhere you go. That's what retargeting is. If you don't have retargeting on your website, you need to get it on there today. Because think about it. If your website's only converting at, let's say, 1%, and average conversion, so you guys know, you might want to write this down too. Average conversion on a website platform is around 1.5 to 1.9%. And what I mean by conversion is a lead form being filled in. They filled in the lead form, they sent you the information. That's average conversion on websites. I don't know if you guys know, some of you do know, we do a lot of work with Southeast Toyota, which is a group that has 146 Toyota dealers. We don't work with all those dealers, but we work with the premier dealers on that. And you've probably seen like Henninger Toyota, one of ours, one of our clients there. And I'm going to show, well, I can't show you their numbers. I'm going to show you a Ford dealer's numbers in Calgary because he's okay with us showing that. Henninger Toyota is getting mad. Anyway, so let's move on. So hopefully you can see this. So this is one of the dealers. This is Universal Ford. And Universal Ford, I know I'm talking about a Ford dealer, but hey, if we can do this for Ford, imagine what we can do for Toyota, guys. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, hopefully I got no cross-platform dealers here that sell Ford. That was just a joke, by the way. But anyway, so look at the traffic. Look at the numbers where they had their one website platform, and look at the visits for January, February, March, April, May, going on, and then the unique visits. So visits, overall visits, and then unique visits is where somebody's visited the website for the first time. Well, we took their strategy over in late October. In other words, we built a new website for them, and we also started doing digital marketing. And look at what happened. So we were just really early into it on October. We didn't have a full month. You can see we started October 17th through the 31st. And if anybody on this call wants to talk with the marketing manager or the dealer, just let me know in here in a minute, and we'll give you their contact information so you can talk to them. So anyway, you see how the traffic went up from the visits to unique visits, and then in November how it skyrocketed, and then from December, which wasn't an entire month, you can see, because that was from the 1st through the 11th on that. I need to get some more accurate numbers on this, or updated numbers, to show the first of the year how it's going. But they're still really happy. Again, you can talk to them. And the way that we did this, and the reason I'm showing you this, is we created content. In other words, we put our website platform up that really follows what we call the next logical step. So stick with me on this. This is important. Think about what happens on the lot. If I walk on the lot and I see a car and I say, hey, I'm really interested in a white Toyota Camry with a tan leather interior, what would be the next process? In other words, if I said, hey, I'm really interested in that white Toyota Camry with leather interior, but what's it going to cost me per month? Well, what your salesperson's going to say is, well, Paul, that depends. That depends on how much money you're going to put down. It also depends on will you have a trade or not. And it also depends on your credit. So that's what happens on the lot. But now I challenge you to go to your website and pull up, first of all, see if you can find 2015 white Toyota Camry. See how easy it is to find a white Toyota Camry on your website. And it might be easy for you because you know your website, but then get somebody that's never been on your website to find a white Toyota Camry and see how easy it is. But now that we find the white Toyota Camry on your website, what I want you to do is I want you to calculate the payment on it, because payments are very important. A, do you have payments listed? And B, if I'm on that page, is it easy for me to calculate the payment? And if your payment calculator, A, is missing, well, you just failed. And B, if your payment calculator is on the page but it's embedded and I can calculate the payment, but your URL is not changing, then you're missing out on your strategy. In other words, that payment calculator should be a button that goes over to another page, changes the URL, in other words, the website address at the very top. So now you can retarget them and you can do a better strategy. And then the next thing is, too, with the website, what we've done here is a lot of content. There was a study that was done last year, and the study says that the average shopper will visit, well, how about we just go into the slides, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. That's what I'll do. Keep on that note. Here's Universal Ford, so we're showing their leads here. And we're showing how we break down all of the applications here. If you look on my screen, you can see all the different landing pages. We break it down because we can see which ones are performing and which ones are not performing. It's a good tool. Next one. So why don't you guys just take a picture of this page, okay? Because, I mean, think about it. Would you like a conversion like this? So we're showing the page views, the visits. This is the back end of our website platform, by the way. Unique visits, new visitors, average page per visit. So let me give you some industry standards. Average pages per visit is 3. So we're more than 2 times the industry standard. Think about your own website. How many pages are people visiting? This one's 6.42. Average duration is it's almost 6 minutes. Average duration in the industry is 2.5 minutes. Bounce rate is 43%. Industry standard is 38 to 80%. Think about your own bounce rate. But the bounce rate has come down because this is a new website. And then conversion, 16%. We already talked about it's less than 2 for industry standard. And that's because most websites, all they are is a glorified newspaper ad. Here's the car, here's the price. They don't even break it down by monthly payment. So think about that. All right, so let's talk about why digital. I told you about that study that was done last year. So the average individual will visit 24 different things. I mean, in other words, they're gathering content, 24 different research touch points. And think about it. So look at this. All of these different touch points, they're going to all of these different websites to gather their information is what's happening. Out of these 24 touch points, 18 of them are digital. So I'm not saying that radio and TV and newspaper is a bad thing because every market's different. But I'm saying if you don't have a very strategic digital strategy, you're definitely missing out. Again, 24 different touch points here, and 18 of them are digital. On here is radio, TV, newspaper. It's all here, but 18 of them are digital. So when you're building your marketing strategy, and I mean, we've all heard it, and we all know it, and we all live it. I mean, think about it. When you're interested in purchasing something, do you go online and do you start your search there? Are you nodding your head yes right now? And if you are, if that's the case, then why aren't you starting out with your marketing strategy of building your digital budget first? Start with your digital budget first. Because, again, we've seen the studies, and whatever study you're looking at, it's anywhere from 82 to 94% of all people are doing their research online. So why wouldn't you be building your digital budget first, and then the money you have left over would go for radio, TV, billboards, newspaper, direct mail. And I mean, every market's going to be a little different, whether your digital budget needs to be a 50-50 split, a 60-40 split, a 70-30 split. But there's tools, when we're building a campaign, we can see it's called impression share, and we can determine how much needs to be spent to really say, okay, this is how much you need to be spending in digital. So I hope that makes sense, guys. But I think this is powerful. 24 research touch points, 18 of them are digital. So let's talk about points of entry. This is just real basic. This is a pay-per-click strategy. So if I put in Ford Dealer Calgary, so I type that in, and you see at the very top, University Ford of Calgary. Driving them right in, some Some good points. Over 150 new Fords starting under $20,000. Browse here. So just really kind of giving you, and this is basic. I mean, this just kind of gives you an example. Let me get my slides caught up here. All right, there we go, point of entry. There's a lot of different types of, when we get into this type of strategies, there's also what's called second chance advertising. And I mean, you don't really have to get too caught up in this, but you know, the thing of what we're really showing you here is copywriting is important. I mean, you've got to have good copywriting in place. There's also opportunities to do click to call. I'm not showing it here, but there's a lot of different things that you can do. And this is just your first point of entry. I mean, one of them, of course. Let's go into dynamic search ads. So I showed you that. So dynamic search is also known as DSA. And DSA is very specific. So let me lay the groundwork for you. And I want you to check and see, are you actually doing dynamic search? Dynamic search allows you to have an ad for every vehicle that you have in inventory. So it's like VIN advertising. In other words, you've got an ad for every vehicle that's in your inventory. But dynamic search is also great for the content that you're going to develop on your website. And I'm going to talk about content in just a few minutes here. But you definitely want to have content on your website. Content like lease versus buy, know the differences. How to rebuild your credit. What's the technology of the vehicle, you know, like where the apps that are built in, you can listen to Pandora, InSync, you know, all these different, the technology that's in the vehicle. I mean, think about the technology of the vehicles. I mean, I don't have to harp on that. The easiest way to make sure that you have content in your website is think about the questions that your clients are asking you. In other words, people that are interested in purchasing a car from you, what are the questions they're asking you? Not having to do with price. Just stay away from price, okay? So think about that. So dynamic search ad, when someone types into the search engine, 2011 white Toyota Camry, the ad will present itself in real time, and then when they click that ad, it takes them specifically to a white Toyota Camry that happens to be a 2011. This is dynamic search. It gives you one of the highest conversions. In other words, people fill in the lead forms. And it's very low cost. It's great. So think about that. If I walked on the lot and I said, hey, I'm interested, hey, Jack, I'm interested in looking at your Toyota Camrys. And then let's say that I walked on the lot and I said, hey, Jack, I'm interested in a 2011 white Toyota Camry. Or, hey, Jack, I'm interested in a 2015 Toyota Camry. I'd like it in white with tan interior. Well, the salesperson's ears are going to perk up and go, whoa, I got a hot one here, versus somebody who's just a tire kicker. So think about that in your strategies. I mean, do you have keywords out there that you're advertising Toyota, Toyota Camry? If so, if you check it, you're not getting a whole lot of conversions. In other words, not a whole lot of leads, but you're spending a whole lot of money. So I hope that makes sense in dynamic search. So that's just one of the campaigns that you want to make sure that you have, because we do it, and boy, does it work tremendously. It's not the be-all, end-all. You can't put all your budget into it, but it needs to be part of your strategy. The next one is showroom conquesting. So here's a question for you, and you can just nod your head. Not that I can see it, but we'll pretend I can. When's the last time that you've seen somebody in your showroom that was interested in purchasing a vehicle and they had their nose stuck in their cell phone? It happens all the time. And while you were thinking they were being rude and they were texting their friend telling them they were getting ready to buy a car, chances are, what research shows, is they're comparing that car to other dealers. They're wanting to make sure that they're getting a good price. I mean, there's some of you on the call right now that has that app on their phone, an app like when you go to Best Buy, that you can scan a barcode and it will pull the different products up and show you where you can get that product at a cheaper price. Well, there's not an app like that for buying a car yet, but that's what people are doing. So they're looking at the other dealers' websites to see what's going on. So showroom conquesting, what we do in this case is, here's your market, and on your market, what we do is we look at all of the competitors, and we put a little radius around them, around their showroom. And when somebody's in their showroom and they're searching for a vehicle, we have a very proactive ad and a click to call button. So when they're in that dealer showroom, they see the ad, they click to call, and we're doing aggressive copy, really writing the copy to get them to call you. And it happens quite often. We get some pretty good conversions. It doesn't work in all markets, okay? Let me preface that. It doesn't work in all markets, but it works in a lot of markets. And then that person, you've got to have enough search volume for it to really happen, basically. And then that person clicks the call, and then we have the whisper mode, so it tells you where that call is coming from, that it's a showroom conquesting. So now you know how to address that phone call, and you talk them off the ledge and get them right over to your showroom. This is showroom conquesting, and trust me, it works. We have some dealers that are, averaging 2 to 3 more units a month, and we have some dealers that are, into the low teens. So it's not a be-all, end-all. But, if you're selling 2 more cars a month off of this campaign, and it's just one part of your strategy, I mean, that's an additional 24 units delivered for the year. Not a bad return on investment. So let's talk about display targeting. So then there's a difference here. We have retail sales display targeting, where we're talking about new, used, and CPO vehicles. So hopefully a lot of you guys are really pushing CPO because there's a lot of traffic having to do with certified pre-owned. The first thing we do, and I already talked about that, is site-based retargeting. So we target visitors that have left your website. And what I mean is they're on your website, they looked at a specific vehicle, they left your website. Stick with me on this, though. What we do, though, instead of, let's say they looked at that white Toyota Camry, we don't keep talking to them about the white Toyota Camry. We talk to them about the next logical step. Because if I came on the lot and I showed that I was interested in that white Toyota Camry, would you keep on calling me back going, hey, Paul, white Toyota Camry. Hey, Paul, white Toyota Camry. Or would you call me back and go, hey, Paul, I still have that white Toyota Camry for you, but I was wanting to let's do a trade value. Let's find out what your used car is worth. The car you're going to trade in, let's see what it's worth. Or, hey, let's go ahead and get you pre-approved on that white Toyota Camry. So that's what your retargeting needs to do. The next one is interest targeting. Interest targeting, guys, let me tell you, write this down. Are you ready to write this down? Sexy. Yeah, just write down sexy. That's all I want you to write down, because that's what interest targeting is. So what it is we're targeting shoppers that have never been to your website. And it's based on their online interest. Remember, I told you how creepy it was, how you can be stalked and tracked and everything else. And that's what interest targeting does. So if someone's in the market, and let's say that they're on Kijji's website checking out cars, we know they're on Kijji's website or they're on Trader's website, and we can target them based on that interest. We also know if they're looking at a Honda, and we can target them. Let's say they're looking at a Honda Accord, then we can target them with the proper Toyota to go over to a page that would be a comparison page showing them the difference in why they should be buying a Toyota over a Honda. So that's what interest targeting is. So it's people that are in market that you don't even know exist, that have never been to your website, and we're just, it's basically like a really good fishing technique. We're just fishing in the pond. So that's what's happening. And then in-market targeting is targeting people who have indicated a purchase is occurring within the next 7 days. In other words, these are your auto intenders. And they're showing all that behavior because the online behavior, they get more aggressive in their behavior. In other words, when somebody's interested in purchasing a car, they start looking at financing options. They're going to their credit union. They're working on payment calculators. They're looking at rebates. They're looking at incentives. And the cycle of the search changes dramatically. And we know this. And then that's how we can target them. The thing is, though, all 3 of these strategies, we have different creative because they're in a different part of the funnel, so we need to talk to them differently. So think about this. I mean, digital really is, it really is easy if you think about it. Digital is a one-to-one communication is what it really is. And think about what radio TV is. And here's the question for you. When's the last time you went home, you turned on the TV, and you said, hey, I'm ready to watch the commercials? Doesn't happen, does it? When's the last time you turned on the radio and said, yeah, I'm ready to listen to the ads? But when was the last time you pulled out your cell phone and you said, I'm interested in buying this. I'm going to start researching it. I'm going to look for it. Or you went to your computer and did the same thing, or your iPad. So just thinking about that, just let that sink in for a minute. So shouldn't you be starting with digital first when you're building your strategy versus, and again, TV is a good medium, Radio is a good medium. Print's still a good medium in some markets, not all markets. But if people are showing you what they want to do online, and that's what we're using search engine for, is to research and to make a purchase, shouldn't you really be starting with digital? I mean, you think about it. I mean, it just makes sense to me. All right, let's talk about service. Because so often, everybody talks about, I got to sell a car, sell a car, sell a car. But in the course of time, I mean, the average individual will buy a car every 30, 36, 48 months. And think about what the average age of the car is on the road right now. So if they're buying a car every 3 to 4 years, 5 years, I mean, the way the terms are getting, I mean, we can finance them as long as 96 months now. If they're doing that so much, why aren't we doing a service campaign? And if you're saying, well, I can't take any more service business, well, you got to find a way. Because, well, let me pose it to you this way, okay? Let's say last month that you sold 200 cars. And out of those 200 cars, how many of them needed the car and how many wanted the car? So I'd say out of the 200 cars, you had a heck of a lot more people that wanted the car. That money was burning a hole in their pocket, or that credit score was just burning them up, that they just wanted to buy something else. And there's really, I mean, service advertising is a great way because people, they're constantly looking for, you know, where can I get my car serviced? And I mean, one of the things that you've got to do as a dealer is you've got to overcome the stereotype that you're more expensive than the shade tree mechanic. I mean, yeah, you are more expensive on the front end, but on the back end, are you really more expensive? Because as a shade tree mechanic, you got to keep on taking it back, taking it back, taking it. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir, guys. You know what I'm saying. So you want to definitely build a service strategy because now you've got them in the service lane, and they're in that service lane, and they pulled up in that 2012 Toyota Camry, and it's so easy for you to walk into the service area and see that it's you know, Dr. Jack Quinn that's got his 2012, and I say that because Jack's sitting right across from me right now. But anyway, he's got his 2012 Toyota Camry, and you can go, Jack, how you like your Toyota? Oh, I love it. It's a great car, great car. Did you see the new ones, the 2015? Did you see how they've been changed up, the styling? Yeah, a little bit. No, I haven't looked at it a whole lot. All right, yeah, it's really cool. Hey, it's got this, it's got that. It's really awesome. Yeah, yeah. You know, why don't you take one for a drive? No, I don't want to. I don't want to. Jack, let me tell you the way it is, though, buddy. That 2012, I need used cars bad, and I would love to buy that Camry. You've taken really good care of it. I'd love to buy that Toyota Camry from you. And in fact, I can get you in a brand new 2015 Toyota Camry for about $40 more per month. I mean, isn't that a good deal? I mean, your warranty be coming to an end here. You'd be in a brand new car, brand new style. It's more fuel efficient. It's only $40 more per month. I mean, think about it, Jack. You probably spend $40, you know, at Starbucks in a matter of a month, or Tim Hortons or something like that. So think about that. So service is a great way. And in fact, there's a lot of searches online. There's over 1 million searches every 30 days in Canada having to do with check engine light. So you think about that. If you've got a landing page on your website, it's check engine light. Another one's brake job, cost, transmission, radiator flush. There's all these different things that people are searching for online when it comes to service, and you want to have that content on your website. So anyway, same strategy. You got site-based retargeting, interest targeting, and in-market targeting. It's a great way to drive a lot of revenue. Let me show you this. I think this is really cool, guys. This is cool. So I can see some of you aren't looking at your screen right now and you're working deals. Take a break from the deal and look at the screen right now. Trust me, you want to see the screen. All right, good. I'm seeing the number go up. Guys, look at the screen. Trust me, look at it. This is important. You see, this is a buyer profile targeting. Imagine knowing the type of shoppers that are on your website. If you want to know this in your Google Analytics, then I want you to send an email to Brian, B-R-I-A-N, at ppadv.com. Again, it's Brian, B-R-I-A-N, at Peter, Apple, David, Victor.com. He can tell you how to put this into your Google Analytics, and you can see the individuals that are on your website. So look at number one, technophiles. These are people that love technology. And what we've seen is we've created ads having to do with the technology on the Toyota product. And you can see the sessions, see the new sessions, the new users. You can see bounce rate. Move all the way over to the right-hand side of the form, guys. We've generated 34 leads by targeting technophiles. And why I'm telling you this is because we're not talking about price. So if you want to make more gross, look at the screen right now, because that's what this is. This gives you an opportunity to make more gross. We're not talking about price. We're talking about the technology in the vehicle, and that's what brings people in. We don't talk about price. In fact, our dealers make more gross than the other dealers in their market because we get the conversation away from price. They can ask price when they get to the dealership. They can go to your website and see price. But why in the world would we want to run a TV commercial that talks about price? Because then if you're more expensive than the next guy, your commercial's worthless and it brings the morale down. So what this shows you, number three is movie lovers. We're able to target individuals that are movie lovers, that they like movies. And the way we do that by targeting them is you can get some movie passes and get them to start going to your website to register for free movie passes. And you only have to give away like 10 a week. It's great advertising to do this. They get comfortable being on your website. You're able to retarget them because they've been on your website. They see your brand, and you create top-of-mind awareness. And then moving on down, I mean, we can talk about music lovers, outdoor enthusiasts, but this is a great way. And you can see over on the right-hand side, those are all leads that are being generated. These individuals are buying cars. So I'm telling you, that's a great thing, and you want to get that on your website because it shows you, and it allows you to build a better strategy. So anyway, in-market segmentation, this is important too. Again, this is about increasing gross is what I'm talking to you about right now. So in-market segmentation, what we found out is we maximized going after individuals that were in the, right there looking on the websites like Trader and Kijiji, and we said, all right, hey, we're getting a lot of the leads. Because a lot of our dealers, what they have done, in fact, is they've moved away from Trader, that they're not spending the money on Trader, and they're putting it into their own digital strategies, and it's working for them. But this is showing you is we're targeting individuals like real estate, residential properties. In other words, they're on a website having to do with real estate, residential properties. Either they're looking to rent or they're looking to buy investment properties. And if they're on these websites, we have the ability to run ads on these websites. And then you can see the form goal completions. This is where we're generating leads off of it, 29 leads. So number one is autos, vehicles. So we're targeting sites like Kijiji and all those. We generated 39 leads. You go on to the next one, real estate, and real estate, those three. It was 29 leads, and 26 leads that we drove. And then further down, it's not circled. Number 6 is employment. We were able to target people that were looking for a better job and generated 24 leads there. Let me show you the next logical step. This is important. So I'm showing you Henninger's website right now, Henninger Toyota, that is. Well, look at that. I just said Henninger Toyota, and I can see when you guys are looking at the screen and paying attention that you're not hiding me. So it just shot up. So anyway, you can see here's Henninger's page for Henninger. So what happens, somebody lands on this page, they're looking at the 4Runner, they leave the page, and now they're seeing the ad for a 4Runner. But then the next step progression is like, hey, it reminded them about the 4Runner. They're like, yeah, I really like that car. And then we say, hey, we're going to pay you up to 110% for your vehicle. Get a trade-in appraisal now. This is what you do on the lot, right? This is what your digital strategy should do. So now we get them back. What happens is now the next step is we start targeting. We're telling them, hey, you know what? We're a 24-hour test drive. Try it before you buy it. So we remove the fear of making a mistake out of the equation here. We're telling them we got a 24-hour test drive. Drive it. See what you think. And I mean, you guys all know, if you get their booty in the seat, then, well, you know what happens next. And then what we do is next logical step is we're telling them, hey, every second you wait, and this thing, if I expanded it, you would see the number which says $8,500. These numbers start going down, so it draws their eye to it. So we're saying, hey, every second you wait, you're losing value on your existing car. So this is how we get them into the funnel a little faster. All right, so I hope that all makes sense, guys. So with that, I want you to tell me, is there any questions? Do you have any questions on stuff that I've covered so far? Because I've been going here, and I just want to see if you've got any questions. Okay, so everybody either's really overwhelmed or they understand everything I'm going through. So that's either way, it's good or bad. I'm not sure which. All right, content. You want to start developing content. And again, I mentioned this briefly. One of the things that you want to do on your website, and we do this on all of our websites when we're doing digital marketing, this is just part of what we do. Because the website you have now, you bought the website and you're thinking, all right, I'm done. I got a website. No, you're not done. You got to take the website and you got to make it beautiful. In other words, you got to get content on it. You got to get people on that website. And remember, I showed you all the touch points. You got to make your website informative. Think about it. When's the last time you went to like Amazon.ca? Did they have reviews on the products? Was there information there? Yeah, there was. Is that on your website? No, there's not. So content management, this is different entries. This is different doors to drive them through the door. So look at the screen right now. You see it? Does anybody want this on their website? So I'm asking you a question because I'm not even sure I'm talking to anybody right now because I don't have any questions. So if you want this on your website, go ahead and type into the questions right now. Say, yes, I want this on my website, Paul. So go ahead and type it in. Yes, I'd love to have these 18 pages of content on my website. Come on, guys. I only got a handful of you doing it. Only 3 of you want it on your website? Oh, come on. Really? You don't want this on your website? Okay, then you should. No. What do you mean no? Somebody said no, so we got the funny guy in there. Trust me, you do want this on your website. Okay, good. All right, so what we have is this content, like why is my check engine light on? You click that button right there. It takes you over to a specific landing page. And on that landing page, we have a coupon. Next logical steps, guys. The coupon, 50% off, check engine light on. Think about it. Canadian Tire runs this, and they offer a free diagnostic check. Do they not? So this is a great way for you to compete with, those repair shops is what it is. And again, over 1 million searches every 30 days having to do with check engine light reset. So we drive them over to this page, and I mean, we've got a lot of Toyota dealers. This video that's on this page is done exclusively at Potratz, and we have it in English and we have it in Spanish. And we'll have our French videos here very shortly. So anyway, so this page, 50% off diagnostic check, but the content of the page is saying, hey, here's some reasons that your check engine light might be on. So now you're being a resource. They're on this page. This is good content to share on social media, in your email blast, and also to do paid search to it. And it also helps you organically of your website. It makes your website a resource. But as they're on this page with the check engine light, think about what's going through their mind. Oh, no, my check engine light's on. It means I'm going to have to start spending money on my car. I don't want to do that. That's justification for them to start shopping for a new car. They're going to go, oh, should I sell my car? If I sell it outright, I'll make more money. Or should I trade it in and get a new car? Well, either way, you're set up golden. So we're asking them, hey, what's your car worth? See it on the right-hand side with the goofy-looking guy picture? So that's what that is. What's your car worth? Go ahead and schedule service now. Get pre-approved for financing. We have all that on there. That's what these pages are all about. We have a lot of pages. Here's another one, by the way, free recall check. Our dealers absolutely are knocking it out of the water, especially, I mean, General Motors has had how many recalls? And so when General Motors is getting flamed for all these recalls, then guess what? People are going online going, I wonder if there's any recalls on my car, and generates leads. Notice that the VIN number says VIN number if possible instead of making it mandatory. In fact, we had a service manager call us in and go, hey, I want to make that mandatory. And it's like, yeah, no. Nobody walks around with their VIN number in their wallet, so no, we're not doing that. It does really well. So anyway, okay. So content is very important. Content is king. What about this one? Just moved to Canada. So Royal Bank offers this program. There's some other banks that offer this program too. So you've got people that are moving into Canada that are from out of the country, and there's programs available for them to be able to buy a car. Hey, you're not going to sell a whole lot of cars off of this, but it's developing content, making your website more relative, and it works really well. So anyway, this kind of shows you. Like TNT Honda does really well off of this. All right, so here's another one. Content management. Is your warranty expired or about to expire? 87% of the population does not have any idea that they can get an extended warranty. Think about the last time somebody called you and said, oh, can I get an extended, somebody contacted me about an extended warranty. Is that a scam? So you're making $600, what, $1,000 for an extended warranty? It's good content. So I hope that makes sense. All right, guys, let's move into social media. Let's talk about social media because I showed you the digital, and I hope that all made sense, but you can ask questions. In Canada, just so you guys are aware, Canada is more social than they are in the States. There's more people on social media in Canada than there is in the United States, is percentages-wise, okay? Let me clarify that. People in Canada also spend more time with social media than they do in the United States. So here's the question. Are you using social media as part of your strategy? Because when you go into Facebook and you set up that Facebook profile, what's happening, can everybody hear me okay? Hopefully. I just heard a weird beep. Maybe. Hopefully you can hear me, guys. Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. All right, so with social media, is what's happening is, that threw me off, that big beep. Anyway, so with social media, when somebody sets up a profile, it's saying, what school did you go to? Who are your friends? What are your interests? What movies do you watch? What books have you read? What kind of music do you like? I mean, we're sharing all of this personal information. And with social media, you can target individuals based, I mean, if you wanted to target somebody that prefers Jif peanut butter over Skippy, you can do that. I'm not making that up. You can really do that. If you want to target somebody that prefers crunchy peanut butter over creamy, you can do that. Again, I'm being serious. I'm not making this up. It can be done. You can also target, for example, let's say that you want to target people that just moved to your area. You want to be the first one to introduce them to your dealership that just moved into your market. You can do that. You can also target individuals too based on how old are the children in their house. So if they have a son or a daughter that's turning 16, you can talk to them. If they have a son or daughter that's getting ready to go off to college, you can target them. You can also, let's think about the employers in your market. Who are the big employers in your market? Write this down. I am going to create a VIP club. And that VIP club should be targeted towards the big employers in your market. And it's a special program for anyone that works at that business. And social media, Facebook specifically, can do this for you. So think about it. And what I also want you to do is if you have Facebook links on your website, take them off. If you're trying to show your social and you have Facebook at the top of that page, or Twitter, or YouTube, or Pinterest, or any of that, take it off. Because that's the same thing as, because if they're to your website, they're interested in the car. They're not interested in being social with you. I mean, they don't care about your Facebook status. They're interested in the car. So why are you going to distract them? Oh, Jack, do you see that squirrel that's run by the window? There's a squirrel. Teasing, guys, but that's what I'm talking about right there. Because you finally got them to your website, and it's the same thing as somebody walks on the lot, and you go, hey, you're here to look at a car, and they go, yeah, I sure am. And you go, well, hey, wait, before you look at the car, I got a bus parked over here on the side. Let's get on the bus, and let's go over to the water park and hang out and be friends. That's what you're doing. So get rid of the social links off of your website because it's just taking traffic off your website. Use Facebook to get traffic to your website. That's what it's meant for, and you can do that with great targeting. You can also reach people near your business. So in other words, right by your dealership, because you can target individuals. You can target individuals that live in a specific radius. And think about that. If you know the radius is, not only can we do this on Facebook, we can do this on Google, Yahoo, and Bing, but your offer should be more competitive the further out they are to get them to make the drive. So it's a beautiful thing here. So when buying, you shouldn't have to worry about paying for routine maintenance. That's why we offer Toyota Care, a no-cost maintenance plan, da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, so here we go. So here, I pulled up Toronto, guys. I wanted to show you what Toronto looked like and when we're going to build a campaign. So I got Toronto showing here, and then I've got a 25-mile radius around Toronto. I want to target people between the ages of 25 and 54 years old, men and women. I mean, but I just started to pull it up. I typed in car dealership. So if you look on my screen right now, you'll see it says 23 million people. Isn't that crazy? But I mean, of course, it's not going to be able to target 23 million people, but it's targeting a whole lot of people because it's just starting to pull all this information in. But you can target people that are interested in NASCAR, automotive safety. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. It gives you all of these targeting capabilities is what it's doing. All right, let me pull in here. Hovering through this thing's a little weird. The next one I'm showing you right here. What about targeting people that are specifically interested in Toyota or Lexus or a Toyota Camry? It gives you that capability to do that. So there's a lot of targeting opportunity with Facebook. So my point is, when you tie in with paid search, retargeting, site retargeting, interest targeting, and Facebook advertising, you've got a pretty solid strategy, is digital-wise. Then you go to your website, and now you, well, in the other order, of course, but you go to your website and you start putting all the landing pages in there, the conversion pages, squeeze pages, whatever you want to call them, and your leads will go up. Again, I showed you what the Ford dealers' analytics were, and you could do the same thing. But you've got to pay attention to it, and I know this is overwhelming, but it's just like eating an elephant. It's one bite at a time. So I want to stop right here, and I want to give you guys the opportunity to ask some questions for a minute, and then I'm going to wrap this up for you. So what questions do we have? And surely you guys have got some questions here, because I've seen a lot of you paying attention. All right, guys, surely you got questions. Come on. Okay, I see some questions coming in. Come on, guys, ask the questions. Let's get the questions in so I can get this, make sure that you're able to wrap this up. So the individual pages shown, yes, you can get the content pages that we showed. If you want those in your website, we can definitely provide those into your website. You can get those. Write this down. I'm going to give you a contact information. And it's Brian, B-R-I-A-N, at ppadv.com. So it's Brian at ppadv.com. All right, so here you go, guys. Let's talk about if you want to do a digital strategy, if you want to get digital going for what I've showed you with social media, we can definitely do that. So again, just email Brian, B-R-I-A-N, at ppadv.com. Since nobody was really any good questions here, I'm surprised. So either I did a really awesome job going through this stuff, or it was too much, too overwhelming, or my mic quit working. I'm not sure which it was. So anyway. All right, guys, I appreciate your time today. Again, just reach out to Brian, B-R-I-A-N, at ppadv.com. Let me give you a phone number, though, real quick, because you might have some personal questions that you don't want to. I got people asking how much. So there you go. That's how much. This is for digital, and then social is an add-on. There's the prices for that. But if you've got personal questions, I want you to write down my cell phone number. My cell phone number is 518-788-4724. Again, my cell is 518-788-4724. Don't be shy. Call me. If you just want to talk about strategy, I love talking about this stuff. You want to bounce ideas with me. You want to ask me questions of, what do I think about the strategy you're doing, or different ways to do stuff, anything having to do with marketing and process and digital and traditional or anything, just give me a call. I'm more than happy to talk to you. I'm around 7 days a week. As long as I'm not in an airplane, we're good. So I appreciate it. Appreciate you taking the time. Have an awesome day. And if we can help you in any way, you've got Brian's email and you've got my cell phone number. We're more than happy to help. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.